Hi, it's me from the Welcome to Wonderland podcast. Are you looking for the perfect blend of nostalgia and patriotism in your wardrobe? Look no further than ZJZ Designs, available now at zjzdesigns.com. Their exclusive t-shirt collection features stunning designs like the iconic Plymouth Barracuda print, taking you back to the golden era of muscle cars. Show your love for your country with their bold patriotic heart designs that stand out and make a statement. From car enthusiast to proud patriot, ZJZ Designs has something special just for you. Head to ZJZ Designs and elevate your style. Visit zjzdesigns.com or check the show notes.
Barrett again from What the Pod Was That and the All About Nothing podcast for Everplay Sports and Social League. Fall registration is open now for a bunch of leagues, including Wednesday and Thursday kickball at B and M Avenues in West Columbia, Tuesday super recreational kickball at B Avenue in West Columbia, indoor volleyball on Mondays and Tuesdays at the Tri-City Leisure Center in West Columbia, softball on Sundays and Mondays at Pacific Park in Columbia, Tuesday 10-week bowling at Bolero in Casey, Wednesday soccer in West Columbia, pickleball on Mondays at the Casey Tennis and Fitness Center. Registration for all fall leagues is open through August 21st, except Tuesday bowling at Bolero. Registration is open through August 5th. Also, registration is now open for 3 to 4-person teams for the 8th Masters of Putt-Putt at Frankie's Fun Park on Friday, August 23rd. Sign up now as this event will sell out. Register by August 22nd. It's a lot of fun, and if you're in the Columbia area, you should definitely sign up now. So check out everplaysocial.com for details and registration. Everplay Sports and Social League. Play, socialize, and have fun.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Once again, I don't really know how to open these thoughts with
All About
Bill.
Nothing after dark. Dark.
After dark with
Thoughts
Bill.
with Bill.
Thoughts with Bill.
Just here for thoughts.
We're gonna have to figure out how to continue to do this somehow once you go back to school. It might just be that that Zach and I will finish up at episode and be like, "Fuck, we need to get Bill on the call real quick."
Call me.
We have a
Oh
puppet.
yeah, I'll still be around.
So, I want to make like a Sesame Street Muppet that is you.
Just
and
me.
We just have, and I just look insane. I'm like, "What do you
That'd be
think, Bill?"
awesome.
And it
The
just
Bill
says
puppet.
way more smarter shit than I say. I'm like,
That's awesome.
That'd be amazing, actually. If somebody can make a puppet of me, do it before Comic-Con. Bring a puppet of me to Comic-Con, and I will.
I've been
what?
watching that show, Eric, and I'm like, dude, puppets would be rad.
We're putting that out there. If you can make, if there's anyone out there that listens to this show that makes puppets, if you can make one of Bill, he's right here in front of you. If you're not you're not watching on YouTube, then go to our YouTube channel and watch this episode. But
Clip
if you
this.
can, yeah, I tell you
Put it
what,
on everywhere.
I will give you 6 months of advertising. That's potentially,
Oh my God.
yeah, I'll give them 6 months of advertising for a Bill puppet. For a Bill
Just
puppet.
One puppet?
One puppet. That's all I want. One.
It's got to be a
puppet.
good damn puppet.
Because
It'd
if you
have to
make
be a really good puppet.
if you make a Zac puppet, then it's got to have that hair. It's got to have the blonde hair and the dark beard. But ultimately, we want a Bill puppet because we're still going to need at least some representation of Bill. Is what we're going to need.
I had my roots put back.
You put them back, or they grew back?
No, they were put back.
How
How
did you do that?
My wife knows all the stuff because when she when she did my hair, a little too much of it got into my roots, and so it made them like brown. And then she went back and had like root touch up, I think it was called.
Interesting.
But like put it in. So
that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm fancy.
Yeah. Well, I've never thought of you any differently than fancy.
Nor have I thought of myself any different
Yeah. So
than fancy.
It was a historic weekend. Well, first of all, I want to thank Brian Mays for being on with us from the Jackson Teen Center because I think that was an extremely inspiring conversation. And
It was.
Please check the show notes from episode 215 for any donation links that can be made. This is an organization that needs to continue, and like I said, they're not in dire straits or anything like that. But we would like to see some sort of. We'd like to see them be able to grow, and that growth only happens with financial contributions. So please,
I'd like to think we could call the episode "Actions That Echo" with Brian.
there you go.
May.
That's actions that echo. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to say
That was
actions.
also
That
That was
echo.
also one of the most wholesome podcast episodes I've been able to listen to. So
Yeah, it was really good.
You didn't listen to my episode number 16 where I talked about? No, I'm just kidding.
16, I'm sorry, man, I can't go that far back. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
How
You
many
should check out our
episodes are we
last
in?
Halloween episode.
I was gonna say 200. We're episode what? 215. Yeah, 215. So 199 epiticles ago.
Or our
I don't
submarine
remember.
episode where we have a skit where we're all in a submarine.
That was gross. Because Zach's a very physical actor, so we're doing this skit in the studio.
All right.
Yeah.
There it
He's
is.
just ripping farts the whole
Bill,
time.
did you ever
It's
hear
really
our
confined.
submarine skit? It was like
No, I do want to see
quality
it. Though.
produced. It was really good. Like I wrote out a skit.
I even added sound effects of what it
Oh
sounded
yeah, like
on
it
a
sounds like we're
submarine.
in a submarine, and like I wrote it out and like gave it was basically ad lib.
Yeah,
I gave the very good premise of it.
it was.
I've got to see this now. You got to send me a link after the show.
Yeah, we'll have to find which episode that was on. So a pretty historic weekend. After let's see. So it started out. What was it? It
Don't
started
bury
out
the
last.
lead.
Well, I'm not going to bury the lead, but it started out last week with, I guess, the Supreme Court giving the decision that that a president has absolute immunity when it comes to official acts as the president, which I knew was going to happen. I knew that was exactly what was going to happen. Which it's silly the way some of these decisions get made, because what happens now is that they basically send it didn't get overturned through the appeal. That the decision now goes back to Judge Chutkan in Washington, D.C. for the January 6th case. And then she'll actually get to render decisions on every single act associated with the indictment that Donald Trump faced. So that was interesting. And like I said, I knew that was exactly what was going to happen, and that's how it played out. Then we had a President Biden news conference, I guess a conference after the NATO. Yeah. And my reaction to that, and I took a bunch of notes for it because Preach and I were going to talk about it on his show, and then we got delayed. But ultimately, I thought Biden did a good job. The only critiques that I had were that I think that Biden, that his campaign needs to somehow limit how long his anecdotes go, because I think that that's where a lot of people pick up on the age and the frailness, or the that he. Although I if I could find my notes, he did do the whispering into the microphone.
It was a very strong. Several times.
Let me see.
Went in for a whisper.
Come on.
It was, and I like Dark Biden. I like Dark Brandon.
I like Dark Biden.
Yeah,
I like Dark Biden. I think that here we go.
it's funny.
Let me see. 7 times he did the close mic whisper talk. That was
You counted that?
I did. I literally did. I don't think you can see. You probably can't see it.
I can see my reflection.
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
I can see
podcast
Bill.
in the phone.
Well, so yeah, I did the little tick marks every
Wait,
time.
did you
he
hold
did
that
it.
up to the screen
Yeah, that was on my. That was.
or the camera?
No, I held it up to the camera.
You see? You guys not seeing this?
My notes were literally written out. I wrote them. That was, I thought he did well. And I think part of the problem with him doing well during that press conference means that it basically just creates, it's another part of the roller coaster as far as Biden goes.
You just can't let him freewheel it.
Well, no, but also I think part of what a lot of people seem to have an issue with, and you all correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the problem that people have with Biden and his age and how they see him perform in situations like the debate, I think part of the problem is that they recognize that they see that as part of the job, and debating Donald Trump or debating anybody else that Biden would potentially, any president, the president's job isn't to campaign and to run against somebody else, or to have to go in front of these debates and have these ludicrous conversations with somebody that you disagree with adamantly on policy, and then are forced to sit in a room with them, literally while Donald Trump is standing, 8 feet away from you, shitting his pants. Like
they're old in two weirdly different
lied.
ways and some similar ways.
And he lied the whole time.
And it was the problem too is that CNN did not fact check any of those lies. They've just given Trump more press time, and also the fact that it was Biden's responsibility to fact check Trump.
Should have
in the middle of that, and he failed at it, like he just did.
It wasn't what they prepared Biden for.
I don't expect Biden to do more than sit in a chair while adults are talking, and then they go like, Biden. He goes, huh? And like, come here. He's like, oh, okay. Like dealing with my dad when he had dementia. Literally, like just be like, you have to come here. We're talking about this. He goes, that's right. That's what we were talking about. All right, I'm gonna come in here and be like, because he's not. He's clearly just not all there. When he has a scripted point to talk to, it's pretty poignant, but he didn't sit down at his desk and write it. Like,
I guess I'll defend Biden in the sense that I still say that I don't see him as. I think the only steps he's lost are because of age. It's not because his mental acuity is not there. It's not because he's dementiated. It's not because he's suffering from any Alzheimer's or any cognitive decline. I think the things that he's suffering from are the ability to stay on topic, or not, sail off in a different direction from what it was that he was discussing. I don't see Biden as being old and feeble. I don't see him not being able to perform the job of presidency.
My grandfather's 85 years old and has a bit more snap to him than what like Biden does. Like, and genuinely can stay on a topic and actually hound a topic and put your feet to the fire. I do think there is something there outside of just being old.
Okay.
I genuinely think that the cognitive decline, whether it be like a true Alzheimer's or dementia.
And Zach, your opinion has more validity to it than what my observations are, because you've actually experienced that with a parent.
Yeah.
You've gone through and seen from point A to B. So I lean towards you on that. Bill, you had something?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the fact that we're letting anyone over the age of 70 or 75, but 70, try to run into one of the most important countries in the world.
Right.
And again, like Biden, fine, like he's policy-wise, great guy, got the ideas not just from him but his administration, and I get that. But I do believe there's some concern to it. I'm not the type of person that would say, open convention type thing where the delegates go fly everywhere. I think that would be a terrible idea.
Sure.
But I also believe that there is a second way for Biden to win by stepping down, which is to let Kamala Harris take over, which I don't think would be the worst idea, especially because the keys the keys that we talked about in the last episode or a couple episodes ago, she would still inherit that incumbency key.
Yeah.
And that those keys would also stay true. She also has a higher approval rating than both Biden and Trump at this very moment.
Yeah.
So just
I think Biden, at least for me, and I think a lot of people, was your best choice at the moment, because I do think he was a little more with us when he was elected.
Yeah, 2019,
a bit more quick, a bit more lively, a bit more pep in his step. But we are closing the proverbial zombie door that we all were running from and slammed the big metal barrier down. And we're just leaning against the door going, oh my God, I can't believe we just got away from that. And
that's fair.
And now and that was what was so disappointing, that there was no other better option. That there were better options, don't get me wrong. None that were picked up, because the incumbent it's safe, essentially.
Yeah.
Because
and he's an emergency president. That's all he was. He was an emergency president.
We didn't pick Bernie Sanders, despite the fact that during the 2020 election period,
you would have negated so many Democrats.
And that's fair. That
and he's old To be fair,
he's older than Biden.
Hey, snappy note.
But we had him running through airports during the 2020 election.
Yeah,
Again,
he
that
was
was 4 years
basically having to fly the plane. I am here again asking you for more money.
I'm
flying the Orville plane. Yeah.
I don't think Bernie Sanders is running through airports today. So Bernie Sanders clearly not. Some of the possible replacements, of course, we mentioned Kamala Harris, who is the current vice president and former district attorney in the state of California, also former senator from California. So that's to me, and we'll go through. I tell you what, I'll go through the list first. So Gretchen Whitmer, current governor of Michigan, that's somebody that's being named as a potential replacement in the Biden campaign.
Probably will run for president too at some point. Very strong contender.
Agreed. We also have Gavin Newsom, governor of California.
Also very good.
I don't dislike Gavin Newsom. I don't dislike him at all. I think
all of California does for some reason.
They dislike every governor they have. There's nothing for them. Gavin Newsom is he's the postcard model boy of what a California governor should be. I mean,
cocaine and politics. He was like,
Josh Shapiro is governor of Pennsylvania. I really like Josh Shapiro. I think he's potential. The next one on my list is Pete Buttigieg, who I think is fucking outstanding. Pete Buttigieg is one of the best communicators we've seen in the last 10 or 15 years. He has the executive experience from being the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
He'd be a pretty good Trudeau equivalent.
Yeah, except not the weird shit that Trudeau's done.
Boxing and chickens and stuff. What are you talking about?
Blackface. Hello.
Fuck, everybody's been 19 once. Come on.
So, but he's also the Secretary of Transportation, and so he also checks all the boxes. Andy Beshear is governor of Kentucky, and I think that the fight that he's putting up in Kentucky is unbelievable. And I think that he would potentially, if not in 4 years, then possibly in 8 or 16 years, would also be a potential. We have really good Democrats that are out there that could potentially replace Biden on the ticket.
Kentucky has a Democratic governor?
It does. It does.
Oh man, I'll move to Kentucky just to vote for him if he deals with the ARC encounter.
I'll see if we can get him on. Him on.
I think I've mentioned before that I went to the ARC encounter and met Ken Ham, didn't I?
No. Yeah. Did you? Did he mention that?
I can't remember if I mentioned it or not.
Zac,
I did
that?
Long time ago.
What? No way.
Oh my god! The first thing would be like, you let Bill Gates get on the stage and kick you in the nuts in front of like thousands of people. Bill Nye. What the fuck did I just
Bill
say?
Nye.
I was like, well, I was trying to think. Wait, Bill Gates, and I was like,
Bill Gates getting let him do it too.
Yeah, that's funny.
The dumbest man alive. Did it feel dumb? Did you get a little dumber when you were around him?
I don't know, dude. I was a fundamentalist at the time. I'm not even gonna lie. That whole story. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Well,
Bill, have I been offending you the whole time? Because that's not my point. I apologize.
No.
I think dinosaurs were on the Ark, Zac, you piece of shit.
Oh.
No, dude. I used to be. No, I mean, I won't even lie about it. I used to be a very fundamentalist Republican dude. So.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
for what it's worth, I grew up Christian and was going to seminary and stuff.
But Bill, your perspective has value on the All About Nothing podcast. So
I had no idea. Now I feel like a dick.
No. I mean, I can tell you I am not that anymore. Don't ever, never. No.
It's a hard plug. I still hear it from my mother. Like, you sinning fuck. I'm praying for you. I'm like, all right. Great.
I imagine there's somebody out there that thinks I need prayer too. So we move into, I guess, what was it? Friday. Friday was something. What happened on Friday?
Trump got his ear pierced.
No, that was Saturday. There was something that happened on Friday too. Because Thursday was the debate.
That's hilarious. I need to tweet that.
Oh, well, there was. Didn't Biden do another speech. He had a few.
He did
It was-
like
he had a really good
directed
rally.
the nation, didn't he? Where he was
is
like,
that what it was?
"Don't murder people."
Well, that was Saturday night, and then he did another thing on Sunday for the
You're
Trump
right.
shot thing.
Well,
I
and
was
then, of
literally
course,
playing
J.D. Vance.
football, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What are you
That's-
talking about, Barrett?"
Well, this is further back next week. I can't remember Friday. I just know
Yeah,
the RNC. This is day 3 that we're on now.
I feel like Friday something happened. Yeah, so
Matt
I
Gates
guess.
trying to punk what's his face,
Yeah,
Kevin
I know.
McCarthy. Oh my god, that was the most cringe. I would have punched him right in the fucking mouth.
And Kevin McCarthy was on. He was the guest on Bill Maher on Friday night. The Bill Maher Real Time not only had Kevin McCarthy as the guest, but then his panel was Bakari Sellers, who I think is an outstanding journalist. Bakari Sellers, of course, from South Carolina. But then they had what's the little Shapiro, Ben Shapiro.
Did they have him on?
He was. I have very little respect for Ben Shapiro's opinions on things because they come from this very
straight down his nose to you.
Yeah, was that
not an anti-Semitic thing. He looks at you down his nose.
He's
how big you think it is.
He just seems so angry all the time, or not angry, but just he's very dismissive.
The only credit I'll give Ben Shapiro is I think he's a decent interviewer. I don't know if you've ever watched this is just my opinion. One time I watched him interview Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it was one of the most I'd never locked into. And maybe it was just Neil deGrasse Tyson making the whole video.
Sure,
but
that's
I've
my
never
buddy Neil.
locked
He'll shut
into
shit
it.
down.
Yeah, it's like I've never locked into an interview like that in a while, and I saw that one recently. That was a few years back, but
Shapiro does seem to come with a lot of receipts.
You want to watch? The only person that the left has to go against Shapiro is Destiny. So, and Destiny has debated Ben Shapiro. If you've never seen that, just type in Destiny versus Shapiro.
I'll have to look that up.
And Destiny has some really weird stuff too on his record, like very not good stuff. I'll say
he is not a great there's things he has, but when he's arguing a point and it's valid, he can sit there. He talks quick, just like Shapiro. He's the left's Shapiro.
Okay.
That will go toe to toe with him, whether you completely agree with the things he says or not.
All right.
Sure.
So jump forward to July 13th, which was this past Saturday. I know that no one's listening to this episode on Saturday being past July 13th. So 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks fired 8 rounds is what law enforcement is saying. Fired 8 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle from the rooftop 140 something yards away from where Donald Trump was giving his speech. So here's something interesting. Internet sleuths, which I imagine we all are at some point, have found that Crooks was registered as a Republican since he turned 17, or I guess since the 2020 election, or at some point in there. But he has been a Republican his entire voter life. His family had, up until recently, had multiple Donald Trump campaign signs in their yard. And classmates described Crooks as a conservative. They described him as either conservative to very conservative. Also, he was a bit of a loner and odd, and also, apropos of our most recent episode, was considered to be a loner and was bullied. So one of the things that there was a lot of reporting on about him was that after the 2020 election, after January 6, 2021, or just after Biden, I guess, got inaugurated, that he made a donation to the Act Blue, which is a progressive group that allows people to make donations to candidates and whatnot. Matt Villarbo's campaign donations can be made through Act Blue as well. But there were some people that did a little bit more in-depth looking into that. And Thomas Matthew Crooks, usually when he signed anything that he's been on the internet, it's always been either
you
Thomas
try to kill
M.
a president,
Crooks.
you got 3 names.
That's a fact. as well. But he either went by Thomas Matthew Crooks or he went by Thomas M. Crooks. So the individual that made a donation through Act Blue was Thomas Crooks and registered on the site as Thomas Crooks. Also, the address that was under the donation did not match Thomas Michael Crooks' address, which we now know. I didn't write it down because there's no point. But the address that was registered under the donation was different than Thomas Michael Crooks' actual address. So it doesn't look like if Act Blue decides to release any of that information or whatever, that they'll see that this individual did not actually donate to the Democrats in any way.
Interesting.
So
who did he
I have not
donate
heard
to?
that.
yeah, who donate to? Thomas Michael Crooks probably didn't donate to anybody. He was a 17 or 18-year-old kid at that time. That there is a Thomas Crooks who does live at the address that
I get what you're saying now. Yeah.
So it's simply just misidentified. So he fired 8 rounds. One of them did hit Donald Trump in the right ear, where I didn't think that happened. I thought that maybe the teleprompter shattered and glass or something, he got picked up.
I thought he just heard something and ducked because he's done that before.
Yeah, well, he's an entertainer at best. So he was hit in the right ear. Secret Service immediately returned fire after, I guess, as soon as Crooks was shooting. Secret Service snipers, they killed him. So we'll never hear or know exactly what the intention was.
I don't think we need to, though.
We probably don't.
Yeah, we probably don't.
Now, in normal situations where the Secret Service has to jump on someone to protect them, they usually rush them off of the stage almost immediately. In this case, Donald Trump, very slowly, it took almost a minute after it was about 60 seconds after the initial shot was fired before Donald Trump was being moved off of the stage. In most situations, as soon as they hear a clear, they have whoever it is up on their feet and then moving them to either a safe zone or a vehicle to get out to a safe zone.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think we had C Squad on Trump there for multiple reasons, including that it took a Karen to go, "Officer, there's a guy up there," and that's how the whole thing got started. When they kept seeing him go up and down a little bit, and they were like, "There's a dude." Somebody said he was bear crawling. I was like, I had to look that up. I didn't know what a bear crawl was. He almost kind of went wormy a little. Yeah. That one, and then I think people on the internet, this is what you do, go overboard. Like, there was a woman, and I'm identifying her as a woman because that's what everyone else did. If she's not, then she's not. But like, the Andy Milonakis looking person trying to put their pistol in the thing, and they made way too big of a deal at it. Someone shooting gunfire. Have you been in that situation? Holster location is not the number one thing.
Yeah, and her holster was on the left side of her body.
Right, so it was over here. Yeah.
Everybody. I don't care if you're right-handed or left-handed. Everyone has a gimpy left hand.
You're fucking looking, bro. Like, I felt so bad for this one person that the internet decided to just roast for. I was like, bro.
Yeah.
Like that. Come on.
So, I got a lot of text messages initially when this happened. Also, I'll just point out that not only did the Secret Service basically allow Trump to slowly get up and slowly make his way, Trump actually demanded that they wait because he didn't have his shoes. I guess when he fell down, his shoes popped off or something, but he didn't have his shoes on him, so they told him to wait so he could get his shoes. The shoes have been thrown off of the stage by Secret Service. But he gets up. And
your lifts can't help you now. They'll all see you're 5'5".
Yeah. You wear a size 8 shoe. Actually, size 8 is probably pretty average. But Secret Service literally putting their hands in front of his face to try and get him to protect him. But he's trying to squirrel his way out so that he can.
You know what you should do, Don? That. Go do it.
So that's what he does. He takes his fist and he raises it up and he yells to the crowd, "Fight, fight, fight." And it's like, what is it? what is it going to take to humble this guy? At the age of 78, dude, I don't think it's going to happen.
There was this TikTok video. It was all these black dudes like recreating it, like they're Donald Trump in the Secret Service, and they lay down, and he's like, when you get that good ketchup, and he bites the ketchup packet and starts drizzling on his face, and then he's like drinking it, and Trump's like, let me have something. He like gives on the Trump. I was like, why was he down there so long? He's like, Mom, this shit's actually good. Quit wiping it on my face.
Sugar. Where's my Diet Coke button?
It cracks me up so fucking bad. I was like, this is a serious situation, guys. TikTok will break you. I promise you.
I will just say this as well. For anyone that was concerned, Donald Trump was released the night that he went into the hospital, same day. Made his flight back to Mar-a-Lago, where he did manage to make his 9:15 tee time. So he played golf the day after an assassination attempt.
I've heard reports of him, at least one report of him pulling up to people on the golf course multiple times and disclaiming how tough he is, that his ear was shot, and he's like all this shit. I'm like, of course he did. And I've seen a video of him pulling up after the debate of him being like, I got that fucker. He was just, what an idiot that Joe Biden is. You guys are doing a great job. I'm gonna fucking get this guy. Like, just straight up like slinging dick with these dudes, and I'm just like, what a moron! What a complete moron! And of course he gets shot in the ear, and that's what he goes and does. Plays golf.
Yeah, I will just say this, and of course you guys chime in. The number of text messages that I got from people on both sides of the aisle, Republican friends, Democratic friends, some extremely progressive Democrats, some very hardline Trump supporters. There was not a single one of them that didn't ask me, does this look staged? And I don't want to put that on the internet because of the for the families that were involved. Of course, a retired firefighter. I don't have his name in front of me, but he was shot in the head and killed instantly. So the good news for him is it happened instantly. He didn't feel it. I mean, it was that quick. But and the other victims that were involved, it's really It's not
how you deal with shit.
No,
this is not how you do.
And it's not staged. I think it was very real, and it just.
It became very real, increasingly real as time passed. You're like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people
were saying that he mashed something in his face or whatever. Like, no, I heavily doubt that. This is a.
Ultimately, the conclusion that I came to of why I didn't think it was staged is because there is no way that Donald Trump, in his infinite experience and showmanship, would ever put himself in harm's way. And the fact that he didn't seem to acknowledge whatsoever the victims of the shooting. Also, just to point out, on the day of the shooting, at 6:08 p.m. when the shooting occurred, you had three victims, including three victims, not including Donald Trump, so 4 victims total, and you had the gunman shot to death by the Secret Service. So that's 5 victims. That is a mass shooting. By definition, and it was as of July the 13th, that was the 36th mass shooting in the country for the month of July. 36th in 13 days.
Thoughts and prayers. Look at the sniper, the fact that the sniper the spotter and the sniper, and the spotter even had a rifle himself, were looking directly in the vicinity of where homeboy was inchworming. Did they go like, dude, fucking like 7 o'clock? And he's like, no way. Oh, like there was such a collapse of security there, dude.
Yeah. There was definitely some gaps. But I think it was because of the assumptions that were made by Secret Service based on their hard perimeter, or the hard zone, and then the soft zone, or however it is that they define those areas. And the Secret Service still has said multiple times that that was not their zone. But as the Secret Service, I would think that the Secret Service would sort of supersede to all of the zones if they see something, say something, that sort of thing.
The last effective hit on a president was what 1983 with Reagan.
It was Reagan, and that was an insane one because it had nothing to do with politics. It was all about the fact that the shooter, the guy that shot Reagan, just really liked what's her name from Contact,
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster, really in love with Jodie Foster and wanted her attention.
Yeah. I mean, that's dude. Who knows? Maybe this guy really liked Kristen Stewart. We'll never know. It's just, this isn't the way you handle shit. If you want someone to like you, murdering a political figure is not the way to go about it.
Yeah.
And it's also the fact that after all of this, any assassination attempt like that, the Republicans will still not look for any sensible gun control. Like this is not going to affect their policies whatsoever. And
their laws allowed this to happen, period.
Yeah.
If there's any finger to point in a broad sense, it is the right's fault.
Yeah.
This is your NRA. This is your gunslinging happy people. This is you. Now it's at you. What do you do when the gun barrel's in your face? You're right.
Yeah. So the RNC convention is going on right now, and I'm sure that if we have any takeaways,
punchable face in America, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, he's always going to be the most punchable.
Is there anybody else that has a more punchable face than Matt Gaetz?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, not
dude,
that
if
I'm
that
aware
guy
of.
smiled in my face while talking shit, dupe.
Not one off the top of my head.
Yeah,
Matt Gaetz has the most punchable face in the world. Teeth the size of piano keys. The most punchable face. Dude,
I don't disagree. I can't disagree. I have no retort.
The reason he was talking shit to Kevin McCarthy is because he tried to get Kevin McCarthy to usurp the law to stop the investigation about the underage minor that he paid.
Yep. Which Mike Johnson
how many
hasn't.
times?
Mike Johnson hasn't done that yet. Mike Johnson has not.
Nope.
So
that was an ongoing thing. Where is that at now?
It's apparently still an investigation. I want to say, I think I heard a couple weeks ago that maybe it was moving forward, and that's why Matt Gaetz was getting really frustrated with Mike Johnson. But ultimately, I'm pretty sure Trump must have told Gaetz to sit down.
You can't be punked by Slender Man. It's not like, no, absolutely not. No.
All right. Well, y'all got anything else?
NCAA 25 is out. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it out here after a little bit. I guess the only other thing is just, I wrote it down here. Go check out our website, theallaboutnothing.com. Go to you can find t-shirts and whatnot. I'm not wearing one. Zach's not wearing one. Bill's not wearing one. But you can go to merch.theallaboutnothing.com and you can find our t-shirts there. Also, again, check your voter registration, theallaboutnothing.com/voter. You can verify your address. You can verify your precinct. You can verify all that information because, people going to mess around with stuff. And again, you can join our mailing list, theallaboutnothing.com. Just scroll down to the bottom there early. Enter and confirm your email address, and that's it. And you'll get bombarded. No, you probably won't.
I have one announcement. If my grandma actually listens to the podcast like she said she was going to do,
all right,
happy 80th birthday.
Oh,
birthday is on the 20th this weekend. That's where we're going to Raleigh.
Is this is this Grandma King or is this okay,
it's the only grandma I have.
Grandma King.
Happy 80th birthday, Grandma King.
80th, yep. Grandpa's happy 86, 80th. She's 80.
Happy 80th birthday, Grandma King. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Good to see all the relatives that I haven't seen in a while. I have an Uncle Galen. He's the youngest. I think he's 70 something now, early 70s. He beat The Legend of Zelda when it first came out in under a minute and a half. He was one of those speedrun guys.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
when he told me that, I was like, prove it. And I'm just watching like, what?
Well, I hope that it is a fantastic and enjoyable weekend. And stay out of the Coke. Zach.
A cola?
Yeah.
Whatever. All right. We still don't know how to end this, so Bill, we'll let you say what you think is the most appropriate.
Slogan.
That's all I have to say about that. I don't know.
I think on the last one I said I think I just said dibbity dip dip da doo.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't know.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
works.
it could be
all I got.
come at me, fuckers.
The All About Nothing podcast is produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. I am Barrett Gruber. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Barrett Gruber or visit my Linktree /Barrett Gruber. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available, including memberships that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. Visit theallaboutnothing.com. To find links to our social media, merchandise, and past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be heard on the show, you can call and leave us a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our partner podcast. Zach and I host What the Pod Was That with Carrie Simmons. Visit whatthepodwasthat.com for links and details. Me takes a deep dive down the rabbit hole in episodes of Welcome to Wonderland. Available on all the podcast platforms. Visit WTWLpod.com for details. As well, you can listen to the political and social conversation between Dr. Jamela Brooks and Bill Kimmler on Black, White, and Blue in the South, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please like and hit the notification bell. Thank you for listening. The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media and copyright 2024, all rights reserved.